you. Thank you. Thank you.
That Nigeria is going downhill is a huge understatement. That's why many people are criticizing the government for their incompetence and failure to change the situation, or at least return them to the level they met it, most especially inflation and exchange rate. Instead of them to find solutions to the problems, you start hearing something like, what would Peter Obi have done, or what would Atiku Abubakar have done? That Nigeria is irredeemable, that this is the best that can be done. Some even go to the extent of saying that these happen in other countries, so Nigerians should live with it. Yes, people might see this as an exaggeration, but Bayo Onanuga actually said this as a defense for the government failures. He said that South Africa has more crime than Nigeria. In other words, he's saying that Nigerians should tolerate the high level of crimes and general insecurity because it is happening in South Africa. This is not only insulting to Nigerians, it also shows the contempt with which they treat Nigerians. Since they keep shifting the goalpost, in the beginning they started by begging for ideas that if someone calls himself a patriot, the person should bring forward his ideas for them to implement, which is a clear acceptance that they don't know what to do. They are incompetent, they don't have the solutions. From begging for ideas to solve problems, they started saying this is the best that can be gotten from anyone. How would Peter Obi have done it? Now, let's see how Peter Obi would have handled security, how he would have united Nigerians and other issues. Let's start with ethnic bigotry. You know this is a huge problem in Nigeria right now. They use this to disenfranchise thousands or millions in Lagos State during the governorship elections. Let's take a listen.
Whenever you want to bring a change, you have for enemy all those that live off the old order. So what you have now is that the people with the old order is the one fighting now. And they are saying, we will crush this Peter Obi. We will make sure. And they're doing it jointly. So that's why you're seeing the ethnic bigotry. You're seeing this because they were going to throw in everything. Oh, he's not he's a Christian. He's against Muslims. Is Muslims buying bread cheaper? No. Are they buying rice cheaper? No. Is fuel cheaper for the Muslims? Is there any free station that sells fuel? No. Now the ones who are going to tell you is an Igbo man. Igbo man should not be. The Yorubas that are there today, are they buying bread cheaper? No. Are they buying fuel cheaper? No. Go to Lagos today, go to Ibadan. If you see any filling station that is selling fuel cheaper, let me know. If you see anyone saying, so until people realize that this is not about Ademi, it's not about Ibrahim, it's not about Obi, it is about a country called Nigeria. The biggest Muslim democracy or country in terms of constitution is Indonesia. It's doing well. The tiny ones like Dubai and everything, they're all doing well. Saudi Arabia is doing well. Iran had just published a few days ago 60-something countries that can come into Iran without visa. Countries in Africa like Ghana and everything is there. Nigeria is not there. Yet, there are more Muslims in Nigeria than the countries they published. They didn't say, oh, well, listen, we have more Muslims. They didn't publish Nigeria, giant of Africa. Countries in Africa are now telling us we can't come to them without visa. So we have a problem we need to solve. And this problem does not. There's no place you go now and say, I'm a Nigerian Yoruba, they give you visa. Or you fly cheaper. Nobody goes and say, I'm a Nigerian Northerner. When Buhari was coming, they were saying the same thing. Oh, this is he has come and gone. What changed in the north? Same thing is what we are going to have now. So this is the style of the old order to keep being there. And we must overcome it. We must deal with it. I urge all of us to be tolerant and understand each other. I have worked with every area of this country. I've been to everywhere in this country. The old order is crippling us by infusing this. There's so many Yorubas today that are married to Igbos. There's so many Igbos that are married to Yorubas. The same thing in the north, in the middle belt. I know a lot of people today, not that are married to Igbos and everything, but they continue to tell you. I know a lot of Muslims who are this, even prominent people, prominent families now, where the man is a Muslim, the wife is a Christian, or the and people have had all sorts of things. Yet they keep telling you because it serves their purpose. So then they tell you that Peter Obi is imposing religious war. Peter Obi is doing this, Peter Obi is doing that. When there was bomb in Kaduna, he affected mainly Muslims. Peter Obi had gone there. Those who are shouting Muslim didn't go there. They didn't go. But they will be the first to shout and tell you it's about Muslim. When I was campaigning, I went to everywhere. One of the things I observed when I went there and everything, talking to other people, is that you have people who are not. It was not Peter Obi who put in or Christianity that caused the criminality in the north. It was not Christianity that made them the people who are supposed to be educated not. No. And I have said I will start the turnaround from the north. Because I know what the problem is. Because I know what happens in Kanu. I know what happens in this. So what they are doing is to continue to use this fear. That is what I want us to overcome. That's why I said to you, they will do everything. If they can't get out, they will deal with Peter Obi. Peter Obi might not be there for them. But I'm ready for anything they want to do. And I'm sure that if we get together, when they take Peter Obi away, other people will continue from where I stopped. That is what is important to me.
Peter B is right, and this is common sense anyway. Someone's religion is not a yardstick to measure competence. The Buhari administration is a good example. There was a time all security agencies were headed by northerners. They couldn't fight insecurity, and some people are already regretting supporting the Muslim ticket, like the Sheikh of the Sharia Council of Nigeria. So they are using religion as a cover to protect their interest and bamboozle people into supporting them. Anyway, Peter Obi has an ingenious idea on how to unite Nigerians. What happened in the last election season broke this country. Many people lost hope. People who before this period strongly believed in the indivisibility of Nigeria are the ones now calling for division. If you are among this group, let's see your comment on what changed. What broke the camel's back for you to say no, it's better to divide the country? Let's take a listen.
Our country is divided by transactional politics. It's divided by politicians who want us to remain divided for their own interest, for their own transaction. Once you move this country from consumption to production, the country will unite. It will be the same because people's hard work, talent will match up their opportunity. Then every other country in the world is divided. Even United States. In UK, same thing. The Scottish man does not believe in the English. So many other. However, because it's a productive system, people's hard work and talent match up the opportunity. There's nothing to share. What we're sharing in Nigeria is finished. What is remaining is production. I have said we can make more money from the vast uncultivated land in the north than we make from oil. If you go to cultivate that land, the people in the north will have a job, they'll have a better place, the industry that left the north will come back. You go to southwest, the same thing, the industries that are here will remain. You're not going to take the wharf away from here. There's wharf here, there's wharf in the port. If you go to China today, there's about 7 big ports. If you go to today, you said you're looking for the biggest ports in the world, you see that China controls about 4. It's in different areas of China, engaged in production. Same thing in Indonesia, any other place. When you start doing this, you find that there's little or nothing that divides us. What is dividing us today is consumption, sharing. And that's what is happening. It is because we're dancing. We're now in Titanic, where people are sinking, those on the top are still beating their drums and dancing. Once we come to do the right thing, it will. In Anambra State, when I became governor, if you think this division is all over, it is all over the place. Even if you go to your family, when I became governor, this one will say it's from north, it's from south. When I started working, it disappeared. There's nothing. If you look at the youths from the north, the youths from the southwest, the youths from southeast, central, north central, they all agree. Nobody today in Nigeria buys bread cheaper. Nobody buys fuel cheaper. Nobody buys rice cheaper. JSK that left were domiciled in Southwest. Southwest people lost their job, as well as other Nigerians. PNG were domiciled in the Southwest. They left. So everybody is losing. It is not just people. Same thing with industries that left from the north. And I can tell you, we will unite the country as quickly as possible because we have the best people all over the place. And we will bring them together. And they will see reason why we work together. And there will be nothing to share. It will be work, 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 work. And those who are involved in private businesses, private listen, their hard work. If we say we want money for transporters, for example, it will go for the transporters. The people who are doing Lagos Ibadan will get it. Those who are doing Lagos Ore will get it. Those who are doing Lagos Onitsha will get it. Those who are doing Lagos Kano will get it. So the transporters all over the place. That is what it is. One area is for agriculture, one area is doing manufacturing, one area is doing this. But when you are sharing, is when you have ethnicity, division, along religious lines, along this, but in production, everybody is united.
In other words, it's corruption that is dividing Nigerians. But unfortunately, corrupt politicians cannot do without sharing money because it's the money they use to buy influence. So corruption is Nigeria's major problem, is the root cause of tribalism and cronyism. Take for instance the recent relocation of some central bank departments to Lagos. Many northern politicians expressed their opposition. Senator Alain Dume from Borno State was among those who opposed it.
They are not doing any favor to Mr. President because this will have political consequence.
All because his daughter was affected. His daughter doesn't want to relocate to Lagos, therefore he is threatening political consequences if the decision is not reversed. How can people be so selfish? This shows you how they abuse power and waste resources. Anyway, let's hear P2B's solution to insecurity. Remember what the Chief of Defense Staff said a few weeks ago, that the army will try hard to end insecurity and fight insurgency. But their effort will never be enough until politicians do their own part, which is creating employment. By the way, P2B has solutions for diverse sectors. We'll just be releasing them bit by bit, so the video won't be unnecessarily long. It's not about copying someone's ideas. Are they going to implement it correctly? Look at the mess they made with the petrol subsidy removal and Naira float.
There's no way you will not have insecurity. You can't have 50% of your population living in poverty. You can't have almost 60% youth unemployment with all the energy where in their productive age, and you will have insecurity. It has happened in countries and countries over the world. When people talk about agitation now, that is all over the place. I said to them, go and study Brazil, Mexico, Bolivia, other some of the Asian countries. These things were there because you have a high level of unemployment. I was talking to a prominent Briton the other day, and I said to him, if you have 15-20% unemployment in the UK, nobody will come out of his house. That is simple. That's why nations work hard to ensure that their people remain employed because they know it causes problem like issue of criminality, disorderliness. So what you need to do, and that is what Nigeria is facing, is happening in countries like Brazil, Mexico, and all countries around there. The more you put people out of poverty, the more you reduce criminality. There's a time every Mexican wants to move over to America. Today, Mexicans in America are going back to Mexico. So it was Brazil and everywhere. Same thing in Asia. Indians are going back to India to make money. Indians become authority here today. Indians have become this. So it's Vietnam. So it's Indonesia. So the more you do the right things that propel development, the more you have your people. Before, Nigerians were not running away from Nigeria. When I was in university, everybody wants to go to university in Nigeria. Only few people want to go abroad. Today, I had one of the famous pastors tell me a story that they pray for people's wish. That he was surprised when he said, people are looking for visas to go abroad and do this, and he wants to pray for them. Everybody came out, including old women and men. And he asked them, people want, they said they want to go too. Everybody wants to disappear. And people are dying across the oceans. And people are dying across the deserts, wanting to go away. Why? Poverty. It wasn't so. Because then when it was good, you enter Nigerian Airways from here, it's only about 200, 300 naira. You fly to London, you don't need a visa. I just said that Iran have just listed countries that can come without visa. They didn't put us. And this is what is happening to us. Dubai, 1991, when I went to Dubai for the first time, the people I met were asking me how they can get more Nigerians to come. You just come to the airport, visa. Today, we're kneeling down and begging them to allow us to even pass, So everything we've been denied everyone because things are not working. That is why you have criminality. We need to deal with it head on. And we have the resources to start reversing that. It's not going to happen overnight. But we can start doing it. And that is what I am saying. And that is what I want to do. And that's what I've done in a smaller scale and can say it will happen. It starts with the leader. The leader must be clear on where he's driving this vehicle to. And that's what I want to do. That's what I want us as a body to continue to agitate for. Where there will be respect for rule of law, where the executive, legislative, and judiciary will be men and people who want to sacrifice for this country.